moon would be a neater place for a base, because you'll get vistas that include the parent planet. Hello everyone, Thranks is here, and welcome back to No Man's Sky episode 247. We're going to go ahead and welcome the fleets back, having taken care of all of our inventory from the last episode. And we're going to try and get through it pretty quick, but just let's see what we get. We got some units. These are just going to end up being more units, these rep items. We're just selling them from now on. More units, some Herox, Tetra Cobalt, Chromatic Metal. Fairly good. If you, I haven't been clear, I don't know if I've shown this, but in the milestones you can see that for each faction we are actually at high standing. No, I'm sorry, not each faction. Those require a little bit more work to get maxed out, but for the alien races themselves we are at perfect standing, so there is no point in keeping any of the reputation items at this time. Let's see, some antimatter. That's kind of cool, but not really necessary. Some units. Maybe this is a discovery. Some sac venom units, and potentially another discovery. Tarnished remains and the bushel of long-lost armor. Well, let's go ahead and take a peek at what these are. Approximately 234 years old, tarnished remains. This treasure clearly meant a lot to people who buried it. Its value in the present day is perhaps questionable. Bushel of long-lost armor, approximately 361 years old. This artifact appears to have suffered little from its years underground. Unfortunately, it does not appear to have been in very good condition, for it was entombed. Okay, well, not much we can do about that. That's a little bit of money. Go ahead and debrief the next commander. This looks like a discovery, some chloride lattice, units, and sac venom. Ooh, a jumble of abandoned trophies, 1,449 years old. There is an otherworldliness about this treasure, something strange in the way it catches the light, almost as if it were haunted by its previous owner. Ooh, pretty cool, pretty cool. Let's continue welcoming the fleets back. This was a nice long journey. We have Grantine, possibly another discovery, units, activated copper, carbon crystals, units, lemium, activated emerald, salvaged frigate module. Yes, and that was an industrial 2-star long mission, but we did get a salvaged frigate module. I cannot complain about anything else. Tetra Cobalt, superconducting fiber. We got another rare item, a box of irresistible orbs, approximately 915 years old. Caused this artifact's owner to bury it underground? Did they hope to return to claim it one day? Such questions may now never be answered. In the final expedition, may we have inventory space for it, please? We do. Look at that. Units, an effigy, fusion accelerant, units, Grantine, another fusion accelerant, activated emerald, and more units. Wow. 6 fusion accelerant. That's pretty cool off of one expedition. Let's go ahead and sell the things from our freighter we're not going to want to keep, like the sac venom and the Viking daggers. I think we are just going to sell this chromatic metal, the activated emerald, that's 1 million, Viking effigy, the fusion accelerant for 10 million. I think we'll keep that. The superconducting fiber as a trade good, that will be sold. Now, the reason we're keeping the fusion accelerant is because that, I'm pretty sure, pretty sure, is not the most valuable thing we can make, as, let's see, fusion igniter is a portable reactor. Right, which uses fusion accelerant. So fusion accelerant is actually 2 tiers down from one of the top items we can make, which is a fusion igniter. So because of that, we want to go ahead and keep them until such time as we are prepared to do some massive manufacturing and earning of money. And of course I did not prep any of this to get transferred to my inventory because I'm a little bit of a knucklehead sometimes. So let's activated copper. I'm not even gonna sell it. Not worth my time. Carbon crystals. I think we have room for those over here. We do. We have room for 5, and now we have 2 stacks. 2, 2, 2, 2. So we have a little bit of room for tetra cobalt as well. Go back here, and we'll throw in these fusion accelerants, and then we'll come over here. We'll throw our frigate upgrade module right into here. Not the worst ever, for sure. And I think rather than just sit there and continue manipulating inventory, what we should do is go ahead and send out our next expedition. Get them going. They're turning into a really awesome source of drop pod coordinate data. 54 of them to buy. What? That's amazing. I mean, it's nothing we need, but wow, early game, would be a little ridiculous. For now, let's go ahead and sell all of our treasures. So we get 500,000 from the orbs, and about 200,000 from both of the bushel and then the tarnished remains. The jumble of abandoned trophies is 1.9 million. Very awesome. We're rapidly recovering the money we spent upgrading the End of Sleep's technology section, getting back close to 500 million units. Be very, very nice. Let's talk to Navigator Negele Tara. See about these new expeditions. Oh, before we do, stand by. I made a mistake. We actually need to create more fuel. Look at all this nonsense we're going to have to sort out. A lot of this is just going to be processed and or sold. Let's go ahead and continue making fuel. I think what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and make 2 stacks. I think 2 stacks is reasonable. Look at that, we still have quite a bit left over. I love it. I love it. Potential expeditions, what do we have? We have a 3-star industrial, 4,000 light years. Let's plan that one first. So at the 4,000 light years, we need to send our very best, except industrial, 2 industrials and a balanced. So we have 2 discoveries, 2 industrials, and a balanced. Well, we need to send, not necessarily our best, but with the longest expedition, we need to send the ones that need the biggest upgrade. And then because it's a super long mission, we'll send a support and 1, 2, 3. There should be more industrial. 5, 6, 7. I think we'll send a really good industrial as well. There you go. Look at that. 750 tons, 5 stars. Not bad at all. 4 industrial and a support. Let's do it. We'll launch that mission. Very, very, very long mission. The next one, we'll go ahead and factor this one in right away. We have this S-class industrial. I think that will go to the balanced, and instead what we'll do is we'll send a little bit of this other stuff. Maybe combat. 3-star for 2-star. Only a little bit of industrial. We could send more mineral processors. We only have the 1. There's the industrial. I'm kind of saving that for the balanced expedition, but maybe let's just take a look. The balanced is actually longer than this one, so we'll send the S-class industrial for this one. Followed by a good support. No, we don't need a good support for this one. That's still only 3 stars. I think we're just going to accept that risk. That's an acceptable risk. Let's just press. So the next very long one is this Voyage of Discovery, which, being that it's very long, we're going to want to prioritize our exploration craft. And then we have a good support, and then maybe we'll send a good combat. Look at that, very good, 600 tons. Off you go. The next is the balanced. I think we're going to do that one last, though. Let's queue up the next exploration one. So we have an... I think if we go like this, and combat, trade, still only 3 stars, not the end of the world. We're going to go ahead and send them anyways. And then for this balanced expedition at 1 star, we're going to say industrial, exploration, combat, support, and trade. An amazing fleet for a balanced mission. They're going to do just great, wonderful things, and away they go. Okay. And here we are with all of these things. Transfer to our inventory. I think I can make more of these. 1 cobalt mirror. I know we can make some cobalt mirror, so... Would like to have three of all of these at any given time on hand. This warp cell really should be stored away, perhaps. One more technology to be installed there. We're not quite there yet. Let's go ahead and move all of these things over to our exosuit, and we'll get them taken care of. And I think actually our personal refiner, yep, is ready to continue processing the living slime. Might as well, as it's sitting in our inventory. Let's take a look at the multi-tool being offered. I feel like these are normally garbage, and so I don't normally look at them. But then you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, so just have to look. And then let's see what analyst entity Ozimoral will have for us. Traveler, you gather data as you explore, do you not? I find myself hungry for information. Yep, you can have all the mineral data I've scanned. 400 nanites. Ugh, that's a good... that's almost a really, really good argument to scan a lot more minerals, because the nanites are certainly more valuable than the units we obtain by scanning other things. To some tetracobalt. I think in the end we'll load up with the condensed carbon. And then we can go ahead and put this warp cell over in pod 4. Storm crystal here. I don't want to spend too much more time doing this, but we have all of these things, and so here's the gist of where we're heading with this, and I think it's important to show this on camera, or at least I would like to talk about it a little bit, which is why I opted to do this here. If we here, let's just go up to the engineering deck really fast. No. We're not going to use a medium refiner. Not that we need all 3 input slots, but the storage area can hold more in the large refiner. So we're going to process all this tetracobalt. And all of this chloride lattice. Now the chlorine I think we could have used in our space, however the ionized cobalt... Oh, we did. We had room for all of it. Oh, that's grand. Oh, that's just grand. Okay. So back to this hot mess. Oh no, here we go. This is where things get a little squirrely. This is going to be quite a bit of ionized cobalt, if I'm not mistaken. And I would be surprised if we have room for all of this. Ooh, thousands. Thousands indeed. Okay. Next up is the chloride lattice. We're going to process. And this we will have room for sure. Very good. And last but not least, we'll take the grantine. Okay, so why we're holding on to all of these things like the Herox, the grantine, obviously they have some value, but one of the rarer, more difficult metals to manipulate, so we got this ionized cobalt. That's almost 1 million in ionized cobalt. So the easiest way to sell exactly this much ionized cobalt and none left is to put it on the freighter, and then sell it from the freighter page. Look at that. Boom. 700,000 units for some stuff we were full up on, or we already had a full stack of. We did not need any more. Now, here's where we end up with, yes, our iridesite and our geodesite. None of this other stuff really truly matters. The lemium, the Herox, the grantine, dirty bronze, all of this stuff is a means to the geodesite and the iridesite. So, what we can't make a lot of is iridesite because we're short on the magno gold. We can, however, make the geodesite with Herox, dirty bronze, and lemium. So let's take some dirty bronze, and some more, and some lemium. Put that one back. Okay, let's just see what we can do with this. We'll say, how about some geodesite, please? And we'll just make a bunch. Okay, so now we're short on Herox. This was the ultimate incarnation of what this particular storage box, this storage box, excuse me, almost said pod and box at the same time. That's ultimately what this was always meant to be used for, was to produce as much geodesite and iridesite as we could ever possibly want. And now it won't let me do it. How disturbing. See, if we send it all back, it still doesn't want to let me take it out. How upsetting. Oh, not to my starship. Oh no. Incorrect. Incorrect. To my exosuit, please. Still won't let me take the dirty bronze out, and unfortunately, you cannot construct anything in this storage area here, so... Let's see, we could make some iridesite. Let's do that. Magna gold. Oh, it doesn't want to let me take the magna gold out. How troubling. Well, I think we'll fiddle with the remainder of these pieces later. The short answer is that we got everything loaded up into it, and none of it is remaining in our inventory. That's troubling. It's almost like it's trying to say, yeah, this piece is critically damaged or something. How weird. Alright, well, we'll leave that alone. I'm not going to continue clicking on it ad nauseum. More condensed carbon. Okay. Now that we've spent some time getting everything squared away, expeditions out, inventory managed, everything is looking great, it is time to venture out into this system, because this system has not one, oops, wrong way, not one, but two anomalous planets. Not mega anomalies, not anomalies worth visiting extensively, but some really neat planets nonetheless. Alright, let's go ahead and... You know, I'm tempted to sell this ship over here. It's a really cool looking ship, I just really dislike the color, but we're gonna leave it be. For now, let's hop into our fighter. Yeah, look at this. Lots and lots and lots of upgrades. We can beef up the technology. Really, we could spend the money making this one of the meanest ships. I don't really remember what the combat value or the combat rating of this system is, but I'm going to go ahead and take our fighter for a spin in this system. We're obviously in the shadow of a planet somewhere from the moon. Pardon me, or the sun. No, the sun is on the other side. Okay. So we're shadowed by ourselves at that point. I believe this planet is a desert, a gray desert? No, a hot planet. Okay, so we absolutely had this really interesting moon over here. There it is. No, let's go ahead and analyze this moon. A contoured moon versus planet we looked at and scanned right over here. Yep, this one. Was a columned planet with high sentinel activity, copper, gold, and sodium. I don't really... Copper, gold, and cobalt. I think a moon would be a neater place for a base, because you'll get vistas that include the parent planet. Alright, well, let's just get out of this atmosphere, or out of this atmosphere. Oh my goodness. This asteroid belt, momentarily, we'll break out of that so that we can get ourselves a neat little shot of the planet and the moon here. Shall we? Oh, we always get the same sort of shots because we're traveling to things. That's the default filter. Why does it look like that until I get into the actual ship? How interesting. Okay, let's see what a contoured moon is actually all about. Alright, atmosphere appears to be teal. Lots of visible moisture rising up off the surface. Lots of little nooks, crannies, and oh my goodness, large structures. Yep. Let's prepare to settle down somewhere. Terrain appears to be painfully flat. There are not many mountains or hills to speak of, but there is this sort of extensive crevasse cave network ripping through the surface. Oop, no, easy does it. Let's not cause a massive wreck. Okay, I'm not sure exactly where we want to set up a base, and I don't think visually we're going to be able to identify anything. So I believe what we're going to have to do is to land somewhere and establish our deep element scanner. Not getting any sort of building markers or anything. Just kind of seems to go on and on. Let's go ahead and land. Go ahead and put the JE2 Eilertson down and get some visual on what's going on. Indetectable burning. Look how incredibly flat this is. It sort of has a neat feel here with all the flatness. Oh yeah. There you go. There's the planet. Can we look up? No. An interesting vista. If we want the planet to be, yeah, you know what? This might actually be a silly thing to care about, but if we settle a base on this part of the moon, the planet is just going to be this big blob in the sky, and really what I would like is for the planet to almost be cresting the moon, sort of like, almost like that. So that moon is like cresting the planet. I would like the planet cresting the moon. And wherever we set up a base is going to matter as to which part of the moon we settle on. Right, so if we go over to this side, we're still getting planetary interference. Are we that close to it? Well, fair enough. Oh, the dark side of the moon indeed. It's still equally as flat over here. The planet's not even visible from here. No, I bet because it's up. It's like right in front of us. No, it's not. Oh, we went too far. It's on the other side of the moon. Well, if we head this way, right, then that means the planet will start to... Oh, what a beautiful shot. You know what? Hold on, we have to recreate that. Because... Oof, so much going on. Look at this. So if we head in this direction towards the planet, right, we get, yep, right there, the actual moment of like sunrise. Alright, let's scan again for that structure. I just saw it. There it is. We're going to land and get a little more Atlas exposition. And then we don't have our planet vista from here. Oop, there we go. Solitary life form. Strongly radioactive. Stay away. Iteration something or another. A terminal blinks awaiting input. Subroutine Sentinel 20491 dispatched to intervene in lifeform designates war. Removal from history. Continuation of creator protocols. Removal from history? Yikes. Only the winners get to write the history books. Sentinels 20491 eradicate species. Do not return. Diagnostic error data loss error. Analysis continued to express original program directives, growing its ability to model conflict scenarios. Redundant behavior. Data loss troubling, potential loss of control, and self-awareness. I think they're starting to repeat. That one seemed remotely familiar. I don't know if we necessarily need to try to find them again. these subterranean relics. We have a lot of these really little neat anomalous minerals here. Pyroclastic, it says. I'll take your word for it. I don't necessarily know if that word is used properly in that sentence, but again, we'll just allow it for now. So if we keep traveling in this direction, on top of like hitting structures, which we don't really want to do, we should at some point start to see, the moon and the planet break the horizon. Yes. That looks really neat. Take that. Okay, we're gonna set it down right here. Vistas are very important, actually, when constructing a base, in my humble opinion. It's like War of the Worlds all over again. Alright, what do we have? Electromagnetic hotspot, potential C. No nearby material, and then gases, right? None. Okay, so electromagnetic hotspot we can go to start our base, sure. It's only a C, but we should be able to get all the power we need for our base if we do it right here. There we go. Alright, so we're kind of right on top of it, which I don't necessarily want to build the base computer right on top of it, but we're in this depression. So I think what we'll do instead is we'll come up the terrain a little bit till we get the vista we want, and then we'll build the base computer. No prior claims on this site. Then we're claiming it. With the cyan sky and these neat subterranean things and the fact that it's a moon and you get this really cool vista like that, I think we well and made the right choice. We've got a C-class mineral. No nearby atmospheric hotspot. I would love to get some atmospheric sections set up, but that's not what this base is supposed to be for, so it doesn't really have to provide that. But I know what these look like, right? This is going to be a collectible, right? Yes. So I would like to go ahead and pick up maybe a couple while we're here. Let's go ahead and rename the base. It's going to be cables, pods, and more. Look at that. Because there is a second anomalous planet in this system. Okay, so now we have our base picked out. I don't want to build it right now. What is that? Gold deposit. The anomalies on this planet seem spread apart. Normally I feel like there would be significantly more, but they don't appear to be that plentiful. And unfortunately, our little base hotspot with the power, the electromagnetic power. What was that? What is that? I'm hearing something. Oh, it's probably one of the... Oh, it's probably one of the creatures here. the bizarre anomalous creatures, but we didn't really get to experience the cave ravines. Just this... It's not like this place is flat, but it's not mountainous. Oh, that is the creature right over there. Unafraid processes dirt. Interesting. Okay, we built our base, but we're not going to build it up because, again, these bases are more for when I wish to gather decorations, and we'll likely build the base on camera, but any decoration farming we do will likely be when I have the time to camp out and do it long term. Alright, let's separate ourselves from this planet-moon combination so we can get a little visibility on the rest of the system. And as we look, the other planet, yes, right over here. Oh, that's the moon. That's the Hyperborean moon. Now the other one is the columned planet. This could prove to be problematic, as we might get to the columned planet and wish we had built a base there. But only time will tell. As long as we have a base in this system, getting to either planet is relatively easy. My main desire is to know what sort of anomalous planet this is, so that I can continue mentally making notes of which planets we've already established bases on. Oop, that is the space station. That is not what I want. That way we don't duplicate our efforts and create a base on an anomalous planet that we found that we already have a base on. And if I'm not mistaken, the columned planet and the contoured planet are two different setups. Oh, is this atmosphere red? Is this like a magenta atmosphere? Oh, I believe it is. Oh, no, it's not. Is it? How bizarre. It is. It is. It looked almost like it was going to be cyan as well. But no, red atmosphere, red clouds, like a cyan mist. Ooh, very, very interesting terrain formation. Also not very mountainous. But also likely worth a photo at least. Thirsty clouds. Those are some thirsty clouds, yes. Very thirsty. Fair enough. Well, we should definitely scan some minerals, as we've learned recently that is incredibly valuable. These planets always have exactly one life form on them. If we can somehow find that one life form, that would be worth our time. I hear him. I hear you. Buries food supplies, steals from others. That's normally the moniker they give a predator. Steals from others. You can see some of these look a little different than the others. Alright, dust and oxygen. Hexaberry. Oh, there's another one to gather. Right, so they look a little darker and redder on this planet than the other ones. And again, we're not going to gather a ton, but that's what this planet is for. Hold on, process this golden nugget. That's what this planet is for in the future when we, if and when we come back to it. So just have the option to gather anomalous decorations for our bases, because we have yet to do a really large extravagant base construction without any utility and simply just aesthetics in mind. Since the Beyond update and now even the Synthesis update, our last base was pre-Beyond, and as such we had to retroactively add power, and it wasn't near any hotspots, and yeah. So as we work our way towards Ice and Tam, we're going to be setting up the infrastructure to be able to have extravagantly decorative bases, and that may actually include probably pulling the trigger on a few more weekend missions to get some more Quicksilver. But for now, that's where we're going to wrap up this episode. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, take care.